One Piece. Story was made by Eiichiro Oda. Chapter 17, Difference in Skill. Within the battlefield, Zoro, his body covered in wounds and his clothes stained with blood, stood tall and resolute, facing off against Kabaji, Buggy's chief of staff. Luffy cheered his swordsman on, while Nami, the astute navigator, observed the scene with a heavy sigh. "Just looking at him makes me feel like he's going to collapse any second," Nami murmured, her eyes fixed on Zoro's battered form. Zoro tells the acrobat, "I won't allow myself to lose to anyone. Who calls himself a swordsman, not even once?" Kabaji sneered in response, acknowledging Zoro's words. "You've got a strong determination there, but don't worry. Fighting me with such a serious injury, you can use that as an excuse when I defeat you." Zoro bristled, his 3 swords at the ready. "Nonsense! With this sort of injury, if I lose against the likes of you, my future carries an obvious fate." "You asshole!" Kabaji retorted, his eyes fixed on his opponent, while Captain Buggy observed their battle with uncertainty. Meanwhile, Nami whispered to Luffy, catching his attention. "Hey! Behind the destroyed pub, there's a warehouse!" she informed him, pointing discreetly. "Their treasure is there, and the Grand Line map is probably still with Buggy. Since the pirates are still unconscious, I'll use the moment to slip over there. After I acquire the warehouse's treasure, I'll make my escape." Nami began to walk away, explaining her plan to Luffy. "Whether you win the fight or not has nothing to do with me. But if you actually manage to fulfill your part and get the map, let's cooperate again when that happens. Then I should go. I wish you a good fight," she said, disappearing into the alleyways. "Okay, thanks," Luffy agreed. Back in the midst of the battle, Zoro and Kabaji clashed relentlessly. Kabaji unleashed his acrobatic skills, utilizing 3 spinning tops in his hand. "Take a taste of the best trick that I have. Acrobat technique, 100 tops typhoon," he declared. Launching several tops at Zoro, he proclaimed his next move. "Acrobat technique, wall riding." As if defying gravity, he rode his unicycle up a nearby wall. However, Zoro managed to deflect all the tops, his swords moving with precision. Observing from below, Luffy exclaimed, "Whoa, that's high!" Kabaji leaped high into the air, preparing for a downward strike. "Acrobat technique, midsummer firecrackers ignition!" he shouted, aiming to pierce Zoro with his sword. "Direct stab!" But before Kabaji could land his attack, Buggy, using his devil fruit powers, launching his hand towards Zoro, intending to grab him. "Ground runner, Bara no cannon!" Buggy shouted. "Kabaji, I'll hold him in place, so finish Zoro off." Zoro panicked, realizing his dire situation. "That bastard!" Luffy swiftly intervened, stepping on Buggy's hand with his foot, causing the captain to recoil in pain. "Don't interfere with Zoro's fight," Luffy proclaimed, his eyes gazed towards Buggy. "You asshole!" Buggy shouted, nursing his injured hand. Undeterred, Kabaji pressed on with arrogance. "Even without the captain's help, finishing you off will be a piece of cake," he sneered. Zoro, his body weary and drained from his wounds, dodged the incoming blow as he spoke up. "Stop now! I'm tired," Kabaji interrupted, mocking the swordsman. "You're tired?" he laughed. "Are you getting anemia? You've finally given up. Well, I suppose it was obvious. I mean, it's a substantial effort you make just to stay standing." In a swift motion, Zoro kicked Kabaji off his unicycle, regaining his composure. He stared the acrobat down deadly with intense focus. "I meant I'm tired of being the opponent of someone who has such pitiful skills." Kabaji, refusing to back down, dashed toward Zoro. "Then let me finish you off with my real sword skills!" Zoro poised his 2 swords, the blades pointing upward as he gripped his 3rd katana tightly in his mouth. "Oni!" he bellowed. As their blades clashed, Zoro struck with lightning speed. "Giri!" Kabaji staggered backward, cut in multiple angles. In pain and frustration, he uttered his final words. "Damn it! The world's best pirate crew defeated by the likes of a common thief? So shameful!" With that, he collapsed to the ground, defeated and humiliated. "Not a common thief!" Zoro spoke with a hint of pride, his words echoing through the deserted landscape. His weary body descended to the ground, a momentary respite from the battles that had left him breathless. "But a pirate!" he proclaimed. Lying on the ground, Zoro tells his captain, "Luffy, I'm gonna sleep. Luffy observed his friend with admiration. With a reassuring smile, he offered his unwavering support. Yeah, you sleep. I'll finish this off, Luffy declared, his fists clenched as if preparing for an imminent showdown. The sudden realization struck Buggy like a bolt of lightning, his eyes widening in disbelief. You mean you guys are pirates? He exclaimed. Luffy, undeterred by Buggy's shocked reaction, confirmed their status as pirates and added a new demand. Hand over the Grand Line map, he commanded. The red-nosed captain scoffed with skepticism in response. So that was your goal? That place isn't exactly somewhere nameless pirates like yourself can go as they please, Buggy retorted. So what are you planning to do there? You want to go have a sightseeing tour? Luffy's reply was simple, but brimming with ambition. I'm going to become the Pirate King, he declared. Buggy, unable to contain his astonishment, bellowed in protest. Don't kid around, you idiotic fool! You become Pirate King, then I'm a god! The person who'll get his hands on all the treasure in the world will be me! Don't even dream about it! His voice reverberated through the air. Luffy silenced Buggy's tirade, his voice firm and commanding. Shut up! Skip the lecture and let's start, he snapped, tightening his grip in preparation for the impending clash. You're being too loud, you idiot! As the tension escalated and battle loomed on the horizon, Buggy interjected with a sly remark. His knives gleamed ominously, poised on the edges of his fingers. Watch your mouth, Gomu Gomu. Seeing your straw hat reminds me of a guy I knew from a long time ago. That impudent red-haired guy, he taunted, his irritation seeping through his words. Red-haired? Luffy echoed. The mention of the red-haired man stumbled Luffy as he questioned how Buggy might know him.